Welcome, everybody. I'm sorry, I am super excited to be welcoming everyone on today's Leadership Zoom. I am Maria Richardson coming to you out of Warner Robins, Georgia. And I hope you guys are ready because it is going to be an amazing, amazing call today. All right. Hope you have your pen and paper ready. All right. So we want to make sure, right, that you got something to write with because we all know, right, that note takers are the money makers. Okay. So, but more importantly, not only take those notes, make sure we're bringing those notes to life. All right. Everything you learn, make sure we are applying it daily. Okay. Now, this team is growing just like the planet, right? So we want to go ahead and welcome our new family members, okay, to the team. Welcome aboard. Welcome everybody. And here is, okay, hold on. What's going on? Yes, again, just welcome everybody to the team. We are super excited to have you here. And as new family members, right, we want to first thank you. Thank you for your partnership and joining the family. And just know that we truly are committed to helping you achieve all of your goals, right, and your dreams, to help you build the business that you so desire, okay? Because our commitment is truly to work as hard for you as you are willing to work for yourself. And just be reassured you are definitely at the right place at the right time, and most definitely with the right team. All right. And to make sure that we get everyone off to a great start, all right, our amazing mentor, he understands, right? So he has certain things in place, but we want to go ahead and make sure that there's a few key points that you understand to make sure to get off to a great start. We have to plan, right? We learned that people don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan. So as you're coming in, make sure you're getting that welcome call, okay? Or welcome Zoom, because we want to show you there's layers of leadership, right? And then you're going to schedule a game plan session with your success coach. And then you're going to have an orientation, all right? Go over your website, go over your why, right? To go over and see what your availability is. Again, to get that commitment, all right? And then we're going to show you how you can create that dream team. But most importantly, we want to make sure that you're getting your ROI. That's right, your return on investment, right? Earn at least $500 within your first 30 to 60 days. And we want to help you hit that amazing rank of Gold Builder Plus, okay? And again, we already know that, many of us are working this business on a part-time basis. So our millionaire mentor, he put in place this 4-step orientation that's available 24 hours a day, okay, where you can take a look at it, and it'll basically give you an overview, give you an orientation, okay, of this amazing opportunity that you are a part of. It's just an incredible tool. All right, team announcements. We want to make sure we are staying plugged in, right? We are going to be empowered when we go to these events, right? But not only that, we don't want to make sure you're just being plugged in. We want to make sure your team is getting plugged in. Okay. Make sure that you are getting under the spout, right? Because that is where all the information is coming out, you guys. Okay. Now, the vocabulary, your vocabulary for the day, leverage and duplication. That is what it's about. Truly, to be successful in here, we have to understand leverage and duplication, okay? And because of that, we need to stay plugged in of what's going on around the planet, leveraging these events, right? You cannot afford to miss these, okay? You cannot, all right? Leverage the events and then just show people how they can leverage the events as well. The first one, you guys are on here, right, today. Every Saturday, our millionaire mentor put together this amazing leadership Zoom, all right? Again, get your team plugged in, because it's one thing when you come, right? Because when you show up, you're going to learn a lot. But when your whole team shows up, oh, we're going to earn a lot, right? Mark your calendars. Every Monday through Friday, the IMB is on Zoom. That's right. And it is powerful, you guys. So we have the top leaders, every Monday through Friday. Please make sure you're plugging into this. Of course, every Wednesday, the basic training where we are, continuing to be developed, right? Because for us to truly be the leaders that we're all destined to be, we have to continue to be, developing, right? So every Wednesday. And if you do not have this, probably one of the most, if not one of the most important tools, right, to have as you have your work in your business is this mobile app. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you don't have this app, we don't have the same business. Look, you guys, you have your business at the tip of your hands, right? In the palm of your hands. And that phenomenal three-star director, Tiffany Dion Harris, she has a video that goes and breaks down the mobile app. So you are going to be the expert and know how to work it inside out. So if you have not taken a look at that video, make sure you do. Okay. Again, we're talking about tools, right? And another way to go ahead and expose your business, right? To turn your fund into a fortune. It's powerful to have a presentation that you can invite guests to look at, right? 6 times a day, okay? And it's going to look like a live presentation. They can actually register for it. They can pick the time that's most convenient for them, okay? Again, it's all about the tools. So just go to turnyourfunnintoafortune.com, and get them on here. All right, now, not only, those events, we have events happening all around the planet. Mondays, Orlando, Florida. And again, these are in your back office, okay? So make sure you're looking at this. We have the Atlanta Experience every single Tuesday, okay? This is where it all started at, all right? So make sure you get, your people plugged into that. Every Wednesday, Dallas, Texas. Texas is booming, you guys. So if you have anyone in the Dallas area, get them to this event. And of course, every Thursday, we have Oxon Hill, Maryland. We have Houston, Texas. You guys, these are weekly events, more tools and events to get your prospects out, to get them in front of the business, okay? But not only the weekly events, we also have super major events, right, going on. Where Mr. Bradley is going to be at, right? The Success Summit is sold out. It is sold out in Atlanta. It is going to be phenomenal. Now, the biggest event of them all, right? Woo! Yes. Convention. Our 10-year convention, right? In Orlando, Florida, you guys. If you already got your ticket, go ahead and light it up right now. Light it up. I got mine. If you're going to get yours, getting it. Light that chat up, you guys. It is going to be amazing. You guys, we are going to have no other than Dr. John Maxwell, right? It can't get any better. And it is going to sell out. So if you don't have your ticket, you better get it now, okay? Go ahead and get it registered and make sure your team is there, all right? Okay, so now, personal development. It is my time to go ahead and step aside to bring front and center this amazing young lady, okay? She actually, she is what we call a 3-star founding director, which means she became the evidence before there was any, right? She dons a beautiful sapphire ring indicating she is making well over 6 figures residually, you guys. Okay, she truly loves to help people. She serves the big team every single Tuesday at the Atlanta Experience, right? She is crisscrossing the globe. She knows all the facts. She is a wife. She is a mother, you guys. She truly, is a joy. In fact, that's why we so lovely call, at least I do. She is my joy to the world, right? It is a pleasure to bring front and center the beautiful one and only director, Joy Dawkins. Take it away.
Thank you, Maria Richardson. Before you go, I want to give it back to you. I appreciate your servant leadership. And boy, you are sharp on the fly. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're a 1-star director on your 2-star run. Man, you know 100% of the facts. You absolutely love helping people, and you're a ton of fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, the last slide talked about convention. I want you to come back one more second. You can't go just yet. I want to talk about convention just a little bit more because this is the most important event that Planet Marketing has. And you mentioned it. We have the master, we have the guru, Dr. John C. Maxwell. And if you're on the IMB, you know we're reading his books, we're getting ready. And why is it important for people to come to register now? Because we're going to sell out. We're going to sell out. To register now for convention. Share with us just a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, you hit it. It is going to sell out. But the importance of convention is, oh my gosh, I can just say so much because I think about it, I just get chills. You think about it, you are going to be in a place, right, where we're going to have what, 8,000 business
8,000.
partners coming in from all over, okay? Going to be pouring in, then we're going to have leaders pouring into us. This is where relationships are formed. This is where we get to actually sit under the leadership and get all those nuggets, right? we get to actually see, I mean, meet family, because it truly is like a big family reunion. It really is. And I'll be honest with you, Director Dawkins, when I went to my first convention, I was blown away. I was blown away, because it's like, oh my goodness, it's like you see the people, on IMB, you see them, on videos and calls and stuff, but then, to actually be able to speak them, to actually, be, with them in person, it's just, you cannot describe, what you get from it, and really, and people that go to convention, you leave, your business is going to grow. It's going to grow versus those that do not go, right? I mean, it's powerful. And Mr. Bradley, he just always takes it another level. And for him to have John C. Maxwell coming, I mean,
Right. That's it. There's no
that's
more
it.
to say, right? No. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So y'all go in your back office right after this call. If you don't have your ticket, go ahead, get your ticket for a convention, get yourself set, and then start promoting it to your team. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are moving to our next section, and I want to bring up those directors that are going to be serving with me right now. The first young lady is out of Port Lucie, Florida, or something like that. Port St. Lucie, there we go, Florida. She is a 3-star director, right? She has a team well over 500. Not only is she a director, but she is an IntelliTravel ambassador as well. She's a member of the Century Club, y'all. That means she has personally sponsored 100 people, plus, and she's an amazing leader. She's an amazing trainer. Miss Tiffany Dion Barber. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Great morning, Director Dawkins. Thanks for letting me tag along.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then I also want to bring up this founding director. This gentleman wears that sapphire ring indicating earnings of over $100,000 in a 12-month calendar period. He is a director maker over and over. He is a 6-figure ring earner maker over and over. Oh my goodness. On his 4-star run, we call him the classic man, Mr. J. Michael Stewart.
Good
Hello.
morning, sis. How you doing, Joy? How you doing, Tiff? I'm super excited to be on. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. So y'all, we are going back to the basics. I think that is really, really the theme, because the first of the year, we're moving. We're at 125,000 active agents. Yay! The banners have been flying. That is so exciting. But it is important that we get back to the basics. And you know what? I saw somebody in the chat say, I got started 2 days ago. What is this? What is that? Well, they don't even know what the basics are. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. And it is going to be the 3-way calls. 3-way calls, 3-way Zooms, third-party validation. And before I pull up my PowerPoint, I know this is a favorite, because we know that the people that master this, their business explodes. So, Tiffany, what are your thoughts on this topic?
So the three-way call, the topic in general is one of my favorites, Director Dawkins, because this is where the money is made. Like this is like that last step before we get to close business. And it's the piece that when I first got started, I was the most afraid of. So I didn't do it. And I actually used to wish that people like didn't show up for their 3-way calls. I was terrified of the process. But now I live for a good 3-way call. I'm looking for the team members that are ready to tag me in. So I'm excited for our conversation today.
You reminded me that I felt that way too, the first one. I was like, oh my gosh, please don't answer. Please don't answer. Director Stewart, Jay Stewart.
Yes, I am. I'm fired up this morning too, Joy. 125,000 active agents, and it kind of all comes together because the title slide this morning on the open was "Get Back to the Basics." You're saying get back to the basics, and what I just wrote in my notes, Joy, Tiff, get back to what got us here. You know what I mean? This is what got us to 125,000 active agents. And I was speaking to Coach the other day, and I said, I personally need to get back to even more three-way calls because it is the most underutilized tool in our toolbox. Tiffany Dion Harris, you said something. You were afraid of it. And Joy, you know what I just wrote in my notes? It's a quote I got from Walter C. Powell, that 4-star founding director. He says, when you don't know the purpose of a thing, misuse is inevitable. So we get to kind of figure this thing out this morning, right? Take all the mystique and all of that away from it, make it really, really simple so that people can enjoy it, they can explore it, they can do it more importantly, and they can experience success behind it. So I'm fired up to go over this.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I have this first slide up because I was training and somebody asked me basically, the question was, my A plan is working really well, and I want to do this. And they had all these different things that they were explaining to me that was happening. And they were like, well, how do I do this business? And it's like, you just do it. You have to do it. You have to do it to understand how to do it. And I thought about swimming. If you were going to swim, if you think about, if you know how to swim already, think back to where you first learned. And if you don't know how to swim and you were going to hire somebody, you were going to take a class, guess what? You have to get in the water. They cannot teach you what to do on the sidelines. You have to get in the water. You have to mess it up. You have to learn. You have to grow with it. That's the same thing with this business. And so I kind of likened it to being an on-the-job training. And that's how three-way calls fit into this. So let's get started. Go ahead.
No, Joy, I'm smiling ear to ear because I'm remembering learning how to swim. And that's it, right? You can read a book about it. You can watch TV. Today, you can watch YouTube. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to get in the water. I remember going to the pool with my brother and all the neighborhood guys, right? We went to the pool. And these guys were diving off the diving board and all this. And me and my brother couldn't swim. So we were looking really bad as a family, right? We were looking bad. So I'm laughing because it just built up and I was like, man, I'm gonna learn how to do this. And I just dove in the deep end, literally dove in the deep end. And I'm here, so obviously I figured it out, right? But that's how you have to do this business. You got to jump in, and you don't jump in with no knowledge whatsoever. That's why we're going to go over what you need to do. But at the end of the day, that's a really big point. You got to do it. You got to do it. That's the way you learn how to do it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So exploding your business through three-way phone calls and three-way phone calls and three-way Zooms now, right? I'm using that as third-party validation. That is actually going to be the key. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, we're going to start out talking about the psychology behind it. And this is why you're doing it. 3 top reasons. People need social proof. People need social proof that this is a real thing, right? They also need to connect with the leadership, right? We've got a lot of new people and you don't know yet. You don't know anything just yet. So you want to connect with the leadership and also training purposes. That's that OJT that I was talking about. You learn so much from a three-way call. And the three-way call has to answer 3 questions for that person. Does it work? Can I do it? And who will help me? Director Barber, I want you to talk about the psychology behind this, why it's so effective.
It's interesting because we know that our prospect would be great here, but our prospect doesn't know that they would be great here. We know the type of leaders that we are, the type of leaders that we have, but our prospect doesn't. And so the three-way call is the way to bridge that gap. And it's a way to really get them to understand it, even without us saying it, that you belong here, that you fit in here, that you can do every single thing that you see me doing. It's like teaching it without teaching it. And I love even the the last line where it says, who will help me, you're literally showing them you have instant access to my leadership. I'm not selling you a dream of when you join me, then I'll share my success coaches or my directors with you. You get to meet that person before you even say yes. It's so powerful. And the people that are not doing a three-way call, they're doing themselves a disservice, because it's not a matter of showing that you can do it. Your prospect needs to know that they can do what you're doing in the way that fits their current lifestyle, Director Dawkins.
Director Stewart.
I'm loving this. This is so good. So listen, we talking about the three-way call, Joy, and you said the psychology of it. Man, that's really, really good. Our system is the PS3 system: peak interest, show the plan, then three-way call, right? And sometimes, Joy, this is why this is so good that you're bringing this out. We say three-way call, but what it really is a third-party validation. And so, for lack of saying a whole lot of words, we just shorten it to say three-way call. And so, when we take out that validation piece, then people coming in and say, oh, you know what, I just need to get you on a three-way call. They forget that the whole purpose of it, the psychology of it, is to validate. And so, this is why this is so huge that you're bringing this out. Validate means to check, to prove the accuracy of something. And so that's the purpose of it. That's the whole reason, right? And so when you get that connection, man, it's really, really good. I love the points you have. Connect with leadership. That's awesome. That's showing support, right? People that are coming in are saying, you know what, I got you, but I also have this person too. And then it's training for everybody that's involved. For the person that's conducting it, for the prospect, it's training for everybody. So perfect. Third party validation. When you hit that validation piece, you understand why you need to do it.
Well, that's good. That's good. This is my favorite graph right here, because I like the visual aspects of it. That's you at the top. You have your expert, and then you have the prospect. This is the triangle that works so well. Okay, the connection, how does it work? That's you and your prospect. Well, they love and trust you. Y'all have a relationship already. But you know what they're saying in their head? You weren't in travel last week. How are you going to make $1 million? Right? That's what they're thinking. In fact, their favorite question is, well, how much money have you made? What? Okay. The credibility side of it, that's you and the expert. The expert has made the money. They have booked the travel, they've taken the trips, they know all of the answers. They have the credibility, okay? But down here, the connection, the respect and the connection. Well, your prospect doesn't know the expert. That's your job to bridge that gap. That's why we do edification, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But just know you have to edify your leader so that the prospect now has respect for them. They will listen to what they have to say. So it takes all three, right? It's so very important to do that. Now, years ago, Mr. White gave me this scenario. He said, Joy, imagine if I sent you to my family's house for Thanksgiving and I said, go eat dinner with them. But he wasn't there. So I knock on the door and I'm like, hey, I'm here for turkey dinner. They're going to look at me like, now who are you? And why are you here? I don't know. If they let me in, they're going to keep an eye on me. But guess what? If he was standing right next to me and said, hey, this is my guest for Thanksgiving dinner, oh my goodness, they're going to open the door. They're going to give me everything I want. Come on, you have a run of the house. That's the same thing you're doing on the phone with that edification. You are opening the door for your expert to explain. I love that. Tiffany, talk to me. I see you smiling.
Yes, because for some of our friends, our family, it's hard to believe, oh, you're a business owner now. Oh, you're an entrepreneur now, just like you were saying. So it's easier to be the connector. It's easier to say, I'm going to put you in front of somebody that's doing X, Y, and Z. Even if you're also doing it, even if you also have your own level of success, I am going to connect you to my mentor who is insert whatever the edification is, right? They can see that, they can understand it sometimes, and it helps to chip that wall away. I'm not over here bragging on what I did. I'm bragging on what somebody else did. And I actually have the ability to connect you to that person so you can hear from them directly. So use it as a flex, you guys. Take yourself out of the equation. Because I love you, I'm about to connect you to this amazing person over here so you can learn from them the same way that I'm learning from them when we're going to do this thing together.
That's
I
so
see you,
good.
Jay.
Yeah, that's so good. No, y'all killed it. I don't really have to say, but I love it. And I just hope everybody got it, that you control it, right? A lot of us sometimes when we're doing 3-way calls, we talk about it at the open, you're nervous, you're scared or whatever. But if you really grasp this, man, you control it. It's the you take back your power. You give that expert the credibility and respect that the prospect thinks you don't have. You know what I mean? So you really do it, and you do it with edification. I know, Joy, we're going to talk about that, so I can't wait to get into that. But this is so good, so good.
All right, all right. So how do you decide who gets the three-way call? It's not everybody. Shockingly enough, it's not everybody. If someone is not interested in the business, there's no amount you can get Mr. Bradley on the phone. It's not going to convince them, right? So you have to take a temperature. When they do see something they've had a chance to look at, and you're getting to that three-way call stage, what's the best question? The only question you should ask is, what did you like best about what you heard, or what you like best about what you saw? Depending on, was it a video? What did you like best about what you heard and saw? That's it. You don't ask them what they think. They think the sky is purple and the moon is made of cheese. Don't ask those questions. You want to keep it very positive on your business. What did you like best? And then I like the scale. I like to take a temperature. I know in our videos we have 1, 2, or 3. That's a good interest level. But this one right here gives people a little bit more of a range. And you ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I should have joined this business yesterday. Where do you fall? And I like to say if there are 6 or more, then they move on to that third party validation. And that's pretty simple on that. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, not less, because we're going to talk about if they score 6 or higher. Okay, if they score 6 or higher, this is the time that we spring into action. You get your senior business partner on. Your job is to gauge. This is really important. Do they qualify for a three-way call? Where do they stand? And if they're not interested, ask them for referrals or their travel business. Jay Stewart, talk to me about this.
Yeah, this is the part I couldn't wait to get to, right? The qualification. This is what Coach talked about all the time. We had a great conversation yesterday. Qualifying your prospect. At the end of the day, guys, and I'm gonna shoot you because I can get really long-winded on this. It's a validation call, not a what's the word that I'm looking for? I have to prove
Convincing.
something. Convincing, yes, Tiffany Dion Barber, thank you, riding with me. Listen, that's it. It's not a convincing call. And so you want to make sure that here's the thing. The slide before, Joy, when you talked about checking their temperature, the key words, listen. When you check their temperature, listen to what it is that they say, right? Sometimes we get in the habit because we're following the system, and kudos and congratulations for you guys for doing that. But we're saying, you know what? No matter what they say, I'm getting them on a three-way call. No, you need to listen when you check their temperature, and they'll tell you what they like. But more importantly, Joey, what you're talking about right now is where do they rank, right? Are they qualified for this next call? Because I'm going to edify you and put you on the phone with this amazing leader, right? I need to make sure that you qualify to be on that call. So if they rank 6 or lower, right, and you guys can determine what that means, and you can ask to get clarity, right? You can ask to get clarity on what that means for them. But right, if they're a 2, Joy, is my point, not interested, They don't qualify, right? Because now you're getting me on the phone, you're getting a leader on the phone to convince this person who saw what you shared and said they're not interested. Tiffany, I'm gonna throw it over to you. It's really, really important that you put qualified prospects on three-way calls. The process will go a lot better.
And it's also because so many people have this misconception about network marketing, and they think it's a begging business, and they think they're going to have to beg their friends and family, and that's why they don't want to join in the first place. So if you, during that three-way call process, show them that, yes, I'm begging you and I'm not listening to you and I'm just trying to get to the sale because this is only about numbers, then we are helping them further along on their no. There have been people who told me they weren't interested, and I said, okay, can we keep in contact? Left it alone. And they eventually came back because, and I quote, "You didn't bother me." That's what someone recently said. I came back because you didn't bother me. You gave me my space. And we have to treat people the way that they need to be treated. So we want everybody in our business. Well, no, but sometimes you feel like that in the beginning, but don't miss the people that are not qualified. There's some people that we say they're not even qualified to give you a no, but you're trying to now put them in front of your success coach. And I can tell you, and I don't know how you directors feel. I hope I'm not being too harsh. You can only do that to me a couple of times before you can't get me for a three-way call anymore. If three three-way calls in a row, the person was like, well, I don't even really want to join. I didn't want. We're gonna have some more training and conversations before we keep using people's time. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
That's good. That's good. As you were speaking, I was also thinking about times where the person did get on the phone and they shared that with me. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is good for you because, and I told them why. And lo and behold, once I got off the line, the next thing I know, my partner calls back, yeah, they're going to get started. What? Because I'm not going to beg you. I will take it away. No problem. You're not who we're looking for. And somehow people sometimes take offense to that and they want to prove me wrong. Okay. All right. I mentioned edification. This is the key, y'all. This is the sauce right here. And it's not because we want to feel good. It's not because we want our egos stroked, because quite honestly, it's still very uncomfortable for me. But I know the power in this. And it is so important to edify. All right. I'm going to start with you, Tiffany, Director Barber. Talk to us, whatever part of this you want to dive into, because it's rich right here.
So I love that we have the color personalities just listed out inside of the edification, because you can edify anyone and everyone with this template. And that should take the fear out of it. That should say, well, I just started yesterday. How do I edify my 3-star, my 4-star, my 5-star director? It can be just this simple. You don't have to put that special sauce on it yet. But it's important that you edify using the color personalities, because you may not know yet exactly where your prospect falls. If your prospect is all about money and your edification is all about feelings, it's going to miss. If you're talking about that Director Stewart is the life of the party, but your person is a details person, it's going to miss. So when you edify, make sure that you're showing your expert as a well-rounded person so that they can connect with your prospect before that encounter. Director Stewart.
No, you murdered it, killed it. Listen, I'll just say this. I wrote this in my notes. If you get this right, you can't lose. If you get this wrong, you can't win. Right? It's that serious. It's that serious, right? It's really that serious. And so, what I love about it, directors, is that these are the 4 things that you need to, please write this in your notes, practice so that it's second nature, right? When you're up in front of a room at some point, you're going to be speaking. This is the same thing. Also wrote this in my notes. Start small and finish big, right? There may be some other things that you may add about that person a little later, but as you get better, right? But guys, start here and you cover, as you just said, Director Tiffany Dion Barber, you cover everything. So that's all, as Forrest Gump says, that's all I have to say about that, right? You got to get this right. Really, really important that you get this right. You got a qualified prospect and you do this right, you can't lose.
So edifying your leader before they get on the line. Now, in the beginning, I like for my new people to do it with me on the line because I like to hear what they're saying to make sure they're practicing it properly. But after that, it is good for you to do it beforehand. So once you get your leader on the line, you can just go straight into the call. You know, this is the person, this is the director I was telling you about, you know, my director or my 3-star director, and then just go ahead and do the introductions. This is very, very important. Number one, let me highlight, you get your prospect on the line first and then reach out to your expert. Get them on the line first. And of course, it's been scheduled. Let me do my bullet points right here. Schedule your 3-way call or Zoom with your leader. Avoid last-minute requests. And yes, everyone has taken last-minute requests, but this shouldn't be the norm. No, because we want to do it with you. And when it's scheduled ahead of time, it can be planned. You make sure I'm in position that you can really focus on it. And when you call last minute, a lot of times the answer is no. And I feel bad about it, but I'm doing something else. So avoid that. Give some background information on your prospect because we need to know how to connect with them. So that can be a text message ahead of time with 3 different bullet points, not the whole resume. 3 bullet points that we can lock on to, and your connection. How do you know them? Did you just meet them, or is this your twin? You've known them since birth. Let us know. That connection is so important. It could be right before you click them in. I know I've done that before too. Now who am I on the line with? Especially if it's a really busy day, right? You can tell me right before then. But again, I emphasize, make sure they're qualified to speak to your expert. Okay, I see you thinking, Jay. I see you thinking.
Yeah, this is this whole thing is just so good. I see the comments coming in too. I'm so glad that folks are getting value. But Joy and Tiffany, can y'all remember? I was just thinking about what it was really like when I got one of my first prospects on the phone for a 3-way call, right? Or I had that first prospect. I mean, way back in the 1900s. It's a long time ago. But anyway, but Joy, Tiff, I was, how can I say this politically correct? I made them the most important person in this whole process and not the leader. And I wrecked the edification by not scheduling it, right? And so I was just kind of putting myself back in those shoes and remembering you got this prospect, and I know how you guys feel. You're like, oh my God, I've been dying to get them in front of the information. They finally looked, the whole thing. And now you're like, Joy, can you do this right now? Can you do this right now? Can you do this right now? Right? We've all got those phone calls, those texts. And what happens, guys, this is why this is so important. Don't miss this. When you do it that way, you just made your prospect more important than the person you're putting them on the phone with, right? Because now it's we're gonna adjust to your schedule versus adjusting to the leader's schedule. And so put it all together. You're saying that this person knows 100% of facts. They love helping people. They're down to earth. They're making a ton of money. Well, that type of person is going to be busy. And so we need to make sure that we can get on their schedule. And so you're kind of creating this narrative, and you want to stick with that narrative throughout the whole process. When you gotta fight that urge, right? Because we get it. I remember. I had to pause for a minute. I remember what it feels like to have that person, and you're like, "Oh my God, I need you to talk because I may not be able to get them." You will calm down, take a breath. If it's the right person, and you do this right, the correct way, they'll be on, they'll be ready, and they'll respect the person that they're going to hear from. Really important that you schedule it. Back to you, Jay.
That's so good. And if I can just add, when you are telling your success coach, whoever your expert is, when you're telling us those points about your prospect, you should know why you want this person on your team. You should know why this team would be a good fit for this person. You should know, like, what is their pain point so that we can speak to it. Have they given you any objections already? Like, tell us in in those 3 quick sentences, but give us a blueprint so that we can address it properly. Don't try to say that once the conversation is started. And I know we're going to come to that in a second, but if there's anything crucial that needs to be stated, state it before the 3-way call starts. And I'll leave that there until we get until we get there.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's it. This is the details right here. Making that connection. Remember, you are edifying your leader. Now, you could have the best person on the line as your prospect. However, for this transaction, it needs to be making sure you edify your leader. Now, I do want to know if you have, the president of a corporation on the line, but like Director Barber said, not while we're all on the line together. Right? I want to be able to tell them, hey, they've been bragging on you. I know you've got some great things going on too, but that doesn't need to come from you in front of them. So your thing is first name, introducing them to your leader or whoever you're using in this case. You would say, Tiffany, this is Mr. White or Director White. Director White, this is Tiffany, right? So you're already doing a subtle level right there when you're introducing. This is very important because I have also been on the line where someone was very excited and they were like, this is my doctor and they delivered all these babies and they're doing wells in Africa. And no, not all that while we're on the line. Okay? All right. What do you want to say about that?
And it's important that you add, I was about to say, put some respect on your expert's name. If your expert is a director, use the term director. And the reason why it's so important is because they're looking at a presentation that has a director's program in it. And so they need to understand that, oh, the person who she's connected to is on that chart, maybe a ring wearer. Like, give them, even though you may not use Director Barber, Director Dawkins, Director Stewart, you may not address us as that when we are offline and talking, but when there's a prospect in the scenario, you have to give that extra level of respect. And just know that means that our edification of you is just as important. Because when you say director whoever and your director edifies you back, which we will, and brags on you and says you're helping me grow an organization into the thousands and you're this and you're that, that conversation means more because it's coming from somebody at a higher status than what your prospect may have thought previously.
That's good.
This is so good. No, y'all killed it. But these are the nuances. These are the little things. Like you've heard this before. It's 1 degree difference between hot water and steam. It's like these little things make the thing go. Right? Honestly, I promise you. That first name and the title that comes with it, man, that's a whole nother thing I want to talk about, but we ain't got time. But really important, really, really important. Mr. Director, really important. Or Mrs. and Director, really important.
All right. Also, really important. Please be quiet. Once you do the introduction, mute your line. Why? Because you're going to want to say something. Even when the leader edifies you back, you're going to be tempted to say, thank you. I need you to be on mute, right? You're going to be tempted to say, I told you that already. You're going to be on mute, so you can say all that. And then they're going to say, well, they didn't give me this and they didn't. You're going to be like, be on mute, no comments. I give this example every time I share this training because I take responsibility because I did not tell my partner to mute the line. It was early on. She was excited. I was excited. And somehow you just think people know, but they don't. That's why we're doing these kind of trainings. But I didn't tell her. And she got her sister on the line, Jay. And they sound just alike. So both of them were talking and asking questions and excited. I didn't know who I was talking to and where we were going. It was very confusing. Mute your line. and let the person have the conversation. Who wants to talk about that?
That's a horror story right there. I felt that. Listen, this is so key. Again, as we're doing this, I'm thinking back to what it was like, and I know there's some of us who we're excited. We got this prospect on the line, and we want to talk, right? We want to help the process along. We want to add our 2 cents. Maybe we thought about something while the conversation was going between the prospect and the expert. We're like, oh, you know what? I know y'all have experienced this, right? Can you tell them about this? Can you tell them about that? Right? Because we're excited. Here's the thing, 2 things, and I'll be quiet. One, whatever you think you want to say, do the work up front, right? Do that work up front. Give that information to the expert prior to. We don't care if you're long-winded when we're talking about the person when they're not on the phone. We want as much information as we can get because that's going to help us identify their hot buttons and help us close out, right? But that's point 1, do the work up front. Point 2 is the moment, and please y'all forgive me, but hear it from my heart. The moment you open your mouth, you killed everything that you just did. You killed it. You killed everything that you just did. You put the leader here. You did that amazing edification. You established respect and credibility. And the moment you start talking, no matter what you think you're adding, the moment you start talking, what you're saying is that person doesn't know as much as I said they know. I know more. Back to y'all.
Ooh, ouch. And accurate. So I'm just gonna elaborate on a little bit on top of that. It's okay. And Director Hines said what I was gonna say. Please don't send paragraph text messages to your expert while your expert is conducting a 3-way call to say, don't forget and say this and do this and ask this. I promise you, if you have somebody in position to do that 3-way call, it has to be mutual trust. So we have to trust that you're putting us on the line with a qualified prospect. You have to trust that your expert is going to do everything that we need to do the way that we need to do it to close that business, especially if you're financially tied to one another. There's no interest in doing it wrong, right? We want to do it correctly and we want to help you close that business. So that's really, really, really important. And then when the call is over, hang up. I don't know if y'all can, I'm sure each and every director has had somebody say, okay, as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna call you back. Like you hear the conversation, you're done with your part, but then the business partner and the prospect are about to have a whole separate conversation. And I cannot tell you all how many times I've seen over the years that yes turned into a no or turned into a maybe because now you're doing a separate presentation outside of your expert. And once again, to Director Stewart's point, now it looks like I don't know everything that you said that I know because you now need to go present more information outside of our 3-way Zoom. Have you all ever experienced that?
Yep. All right, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up. The major keys to success. All we want to emphasize is if you master this, if you do this, if you practice this, you're going to make more money. As simple as that. You're going to have more partners. You're going to have more promotions. You're going to get good at this because understand it's not just learning it, but you've got to learn it to do it. So modeling it properly, because as your new partners come in, they're going to say, hey, we need a 3-way call. Or you're going to tell them they need a 3-way call. But you got to know how to conduct it properly. You want to be known as someone who can handle a proper 3-way call. Closing thoughts.
The best way to learn how to do a 3-way call is to be on a 3-way call. So be present. Even though you're muted, be present. Listen to what your expert is saying. Listen to the type of questions that your prospects are asking. And don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to role play. And don't be afraid in this upcoming week to double however many 3-way calls you were planning on doing, double it, and then see the results that you have by this time next week. Unless, of course, it was 0. Do something.
gonna
Yeah,
say something like that.
2 points really, really quickly, ladies. First of all, amazing. Thank y'all, Joy, Tiffany. Look, I feel bad now saying Joy and Tiffany, director,
No.
Dawkins, direct. I know it's family, right? I know, but that's just how it's ingrained, though, right? That's just ingrained in us. Um, 2 things really, really quickly. For those of us like myself, you'll get to a point, and you can get to this point early in your business where you know the answers to the questions, right? I was telling Coach transparently that I need to get back to doing three-way calls. I need to get back to doing three-way calls for myself, right? For myself, getting myself out of the way. And the reason I bring that up is because your people are going to do what you do, right? So even if you don't necessarily need one, you think, right? Your people, you may be able to answer questions and give them everything that they need, but the person coming behind you, can they do it? Right. So it's really, really important. So that training is happening as you're going through it. So just transparently, right, even when you've been here for a minute, let's get back to the thing that got us to where we are when we didn't know the answers, right? And we had that third party validation. Joy Tip, the last thing I'll say, and I got this from Coach, a really, really important point, is that it's all connected, right? When I say it's all connected, I mean going to the meetings, learning people's stories. It gives you an ability to really put this thing on steroids. And that gives you the ability. What I mean is you get to mirror match at that point. When you have a prospect that has a certain background, the more stories that you know inside of the business, the more testimonials that you hear, the more you have the ability to mirror match people. And that takes this process, man, and it increases your chance of success 100 times, right? If you can match a bus operator with me, right? If you can match a single mom with Tiff, if you can match, you guys get my point, right? The more stories that you have, the better. It's all connected. Don't forget the mirror match. Thank you.
Good, that's good. Well, I put this back on here because I just needed y'all to know that you're not going to get good at this without doing it. You must do it. And similar to Director Barber's challenge, I wrote down because it's dropping just a little bit, but we have 445 people on the line. So we should have at least 445 three-way calls going this next week, from week to week. Get out there, y'all. You got to get in the water. You got to figure this out while you're doing it. Go ahead. It's okay. Once you do it, then we can adjust it and you get better. You can adjust it and you get better. So on that, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. I want to give a nod to Director Shedrick White, just the brainchild of this platform right here. And we appreciate him so much for allowing us to serve. But we are getting back to the basics. Go out there, do your three-way calls, do your third-party validations, and let's explode this business. We'll be back next Saturday. Make sure you get everyone on. Y'all have an amazing week. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.